I'm always one to say yes for something. Yeah, you give me an idea, I'll give it a crack.
How do you run a successful personal training business in a regional centre with a population of 12,500 people? How does that happen? Well, today my guest is Louise Hopwood from LouFit Personal Training in Mansfield, and we dive into how she has built her business over 15 years and sustained it in an area like Mansfield, and how she's doing that really well and has been able to trip overseas to Italy and run her business from there. Lou is very humble, very down to earth, and has a great story. I hope you really enjoy it as much as I did. Let's take it away. Louise, thank you so much for joining me in the studio in Bendigo. It is so cool to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me along. It's exciting, super exciting to be here.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear all about your business and your journey. And you have some absolute ripper stories that I've just had the top lines of so far, and I can't wait to dig deeper into that. But why don't you share with us, what does LouFit Personal Training look like right now as a business, as an operation? What is it? What can you tell us about it?
Well, where does it sit now? It is a large part. I live in northeast Victoria in Mansfield, at the base of Mount Buller in the snowfields.
Oh, what a spot.
Which is beautiful. We are very lucky to live where we are.
Wow.
And I run a personal training studio there, group fitness, one-on-one personal training, and it has grown and become an incredible place to be in and be a part of.
Yeah.
And it is 15 years old this year.
Wow, right on.
Yeah.
We'll get into the journey of what it's looked like and how you've got to where you are now. But what makes LouFit Personal Training, stand out from your run-of-the-mill, gym or PT studio?
I always like to say that at LouFit Personal Training, it is so different from a big box gym because I pride myself on the personal touches and what I like to call the 1%ers.
Yep.
So they're the little things that maybe not everyone notices, but at some point in time people do notice it.
Yeah.
And it's now become more about the community, and the fitness and the exercise is actually just an offshoot of it because it's just the togetherness and the bringing people together, and the mental health aspect of all of that encompassed together is what makes it an incredible place.
Yeah, I love it. Tell me about one of these 1%ers, some of these 1%ers. Like, what are you talking about there?
They're little things that I think make a world of difference. And as I said, each person notices them differently. Not very long ago, I did a social media post around a little green Buddha, ceramic Buddha that I have that sits at the front door in the garden in the entry to the studio. And people would walk past it, never bat an eyelid. And my mum passed away 12 years ago, and she gave me that green Buddha 15 years ago probably, and she said, "This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen, but I sort of am attracted to it somehow." And
what was she saying to you and giving it to you?
Well, she was like, "I don't know what you're going to do. You might put it in a garden or somewhere like that." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it is really ugly, but okay, I'll take it." And so now this Buddha sits pride of place at the front door, and everyone sort of, I don't know, just had a sense of, oh my God, look at that thing. Yeah, it is really ugly, but it has some kind of sentiment about it.
Yeah.
Wow. And now they walk past it and they're like, oh, that's that ugly green Buddha. And so now I feel it's, like it's sort of like a little piece of her and a little piece of, oh my God, that green Buddha sits at the front door. But it's down to things like,
I love that.
At the entryway to the studio, I make sure every week that I'm out there with the brush and I'm cleaning down the cobwebs and I'm washing down the entry signs and all that little things, that make it look really presentable and like it's cared for and loved like my business is.
Yeah, I love it. So who have you got in your team? Like, tell me about what personnel you've got and how you run classes in the community.
Yeah, so at the moment, instructor-wise, it's myself.
Yep.
And I have a Pilates instructor that comes in once a week and teaches my Mature Moves classes.
Yeah.
And I also have a virtual assistant / business manager and a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
In summer, I have a aquarobics contractor that comes in because I run aquarobics at the local community pool.
Wow.
So amongst us, it all just sort of ticks along.
Yeah.
And we run classes and PT sessions Monday to Friday.
Yep.
At the moment, I think I run about 40 sessions a week.
Whoa.
Starting from 6 in the morning through to 6:30 at night. And I also run lots of community events. I just feel that when you live in a regional town, we're quite often left behind in terms of education, events, who we can gain knowledge and education from. So I think it's really important to try and still give everyone that aspect, even though we live in a regional town.
Yeah, no, definitely. You mentioned community it's about the community. Like that's not necessarily an easy thing to build, right? And so tell me, what does your community look like? Like how many participants do you kind of have in average on classes? But how have you gone about building a sense of community around your business?
Yeah, I spoke a little bit about the difference between a big box gym and myself.
Yeah.
And that goes as far as knowing everyone's names. And I pride myself on when anyone walks through the door, even if it's a class of 25 or it's a class of 10, I say hello to everyone by their name. If I haven't seen them at a class for two times, they might have cancelled twice, I shoot them a text message, say, just checking in, I haven't seen you at class, is everything okay? Or I know you've been unwell or the kids have been sick, whatever it might be. So it's about people just want to feel included and part of something. And so that's what makes it special, is that community feel. And I know that in between all the clients, if they haven't seen someone for a couple of days, they'll shoot a text or they might put a group message out or, checking in on people. So that sense of getting around people, supporting them, walking into a gym, I don't know if you're a gym goer, but walking into a gym is quite scary for the first time.
Yeah.
And depending on your age or your ability or your fitness level or what it is, my studio has always been about it doesn't matter what you look like.
Yeah.
If you've got the latest activewear, how fit you are, how fit you were, where you want to go.
Yeah.
It's a place for everybody and everybody feels comfortable walking in the door. Nobody's watching anyone else. It's just you there getting your workout in.
Yeah.
And I do really pride myself on that. And people say to me, I love coming here because I know I can just rock up in my old farm gear or my gardening shoes or whatever it may be and nobody says, oh, what's going on there? Because it's just people coming together all for the common purpose of getting fit, getting healthy, meeting people and knowing people that they can say g'day to down the main street.
Yeah. Gyms, a great gym should be a community connection point, and it's what I hear you have built. We've got an interest in a gym locally that has the same kind of vibe, right? It's the same kind of feel where there's no competition, comparison. It's a place where people can connect and, shared struggle is often a great bonder of people.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah,
and fitness is one of the greatest struggles you can engage with because it's so good for you, but it really does bond people together. And especially in a group fitness kind of sense, if you're really pushing hard and you're building the culture of encouragement in the group and the participants, then you get out the other side, you feel absolutely spent.
Yes.
But you've made it.
It's a massive sense of achievement and you've done it alongside everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else is feeling the pain, feeling the hurt, but you all get each other to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And it would have another layer on it being in a regional area, in a more removed from, northeast Victoria. It's a long way from metro centres.
Yes.
Long way.
Yeah.
it would have a deeper sense of value and importance to the community, being that community connection point and the place where, people can feel like they can gather, that they can be known.
Mm-hmm.
I think authenticity is a massive element of building really great community. And that's what I love about regional businesses.
Yes.
Is we often have it as a core feature of how we operate and the people, how we serve people and customers is through authenticity.
Yes.
Right. And that's what I hear you achieving really well. I want to hear about the gym landscape in your corner of Victoria and how you've grown your business. Like where has it come from and how did you kind of start?
It was a bit of an interesting start place. I studied straight out of school in hospitality, so I was never in fitness.
Yep.
And I did hospitality for about 14 years and I was actually traveling overseas, and I remember it very vividly. I traveled Europe by myself for 9 weeks on different Kentucky tours and things like that.
Yeah.
And I was 24, and I remember sitting in a bus, going under this bridge in a beautiful place in Venice. And I thought, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do with my life? I'd come out of a relationship and I'd studied hospitality and everything was fine. But I was like, is it really what I want to do? And then I thought, I'd really love to do fitness. I was into triathlons at the time. And I thought, yeah, I could do that. And so I came back to Australia and came back to Melbourne and moved to Mansfield.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was working in a local medical clinic there and at the reception, and I'd been there for a couple of years and I loved that. But I just thought, I really want to do fitness. I can't afford to do it. How am I going to do it? Anyway, I worked a couple of years in the medical clinic and then decided that I needed a challenge.
Yeah.
I needed something else. And the medical clinic that I worked in just happened to be looking down the barrel of what was coming next in the medical space, and that was around allied health and the partnerships with allied health professionals.
Yep.
And they decided to open a rehabilitation gym, and they asked me if I would like to go and study fitness and run the rehabilitation gym.
Wow.
And so it all sort of fell in my lap.
Wow. That's amazing.
So it was incredible. So I stayed at the medical clinic for 14 years, running the rehab gym there.
Wow.
And group fitness, personal training, helping clients from injuries or just general fitness.
Yeah.
And then I started, alongside that, I was doing my own mobile training outside of that.
Yeah.
And then, as we know it, the pandemic hit and changed the world forever and everybody's businesses.
Yeah.
And I decided to leave the medical clinic and go out on my own, take the massive leap of faith. And after 10 years of being a mobile trainer and stuffing all of 100 kilos of equipment into the back of my car and unloading it at rec reserves at 5 a.m. and botanical gardens, we built a new house with a purpose-built studio.
Yeah.
And then I opened my studio. Well, I didn't open it because the world shut down.
Uh-huh.
And nobody saw the inside of the studio for 2 years. And I trained virtually from the studio by myself, and that opened up a totally different world again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was like still mobile training, except you didn't go anywhere.
I didn't go anywhere. They didn't go anywhere. We used backpacks full of blankets and washing baskets full of wet towels and all those random things.
I did a few of those back then. You just reminded me. There was, what was it, like a towel on the door frame? Like close the put a towel over the door and close it to do.
And you're doing like a row or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you really had to get creative on your workout plans.
Yep.
What is someone going to have in their house?
Exactly. I would walk around the house thinking, okay, how can I make something heavy? What, or create some kind of resistance or anything like that. Yeah. So then my studio opened, 2 years after COVID sort of dissipated a little bit. Yep. And here we are.
Wow. So what would you look back at on that journey and say were some of the biggest challenges, and how did you get through them?
What were the biggest challenges? COVID was definitely a challenge.
Yes. I mean, having said that, you what was going through your mind? Like, you've just built this place and then you can't open. Like, how did you?
Yeah. Do you want me to be honest? What happened?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend in fitness, sort of a bit of a mentor, and she reached out to me. I remember it the Sunday night that, everything was coming onto the media. And she said, look, I just need to tell you this. This pandemic has hit the UK already, and I have friends in fitness over there, and we don't know if it's going to last for 3 weeks or 3 months or 6 months, but if you don't take your business virtual, you're not going to have one on the other side.
Wow.
And I dropped to the floor in my studio and just bawled my eyes out.
Yeah.
I was like, I have worked for 10 years to build this business from the ground up with 2 young babies, moving house, like everything that life throws at all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't watch it go down the drain. Mm. And I don't know if it's going to last for 3 weeks or 3 months. And she said, you have to pivot. You're going to have to do something or you're not going to survive.
Wow. It's pretty cool to have that insight though. Like
it was, yeah.
Rather than being reactive, you were like getting a heads up going.
I was getting a heads up and I was very, very thankful. But at the same time, I was like.
Devastating.
Holy cow, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know Zoom existed. I did not know Zoom existed.
Yeah, yeah.
Thankfully, my husband is in technology.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, we can do this. So I think we stayed up for 24 hours and within 48 hours we were up and running virtual.
Wow.
And for lots of businesses, it was a terrible time and it was a stressful time. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I did not know how it was going to play out.
Yeah.
But there was a massive silver lining because virtual came into the space that we never knew existed. Yeah. And I vowed and declared if it meant I had to teach virtual classes, I was out. I was like, I did not get into this industry to talk to a screen. Like, this is not me. But I was like, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
What else am I going to do?
Yeah. Yep.
So, it was the best thing that's happened for my business. And I still, to this day, still teach virtual classes.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Hybrid model.
That's amazing.
Virtual for clients within my town, out of my town. I have like a mixed postpartum class, clients in Melbourne, clients in Mansfield.
Oh my golly.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a bit about that, more about that, the breadth of people you're able to serve. So what's the percentages of the amount of people that come into the studio and how spread out are they?
So they range in ages from 10 to 83.
Wow.
And I'm not a female-specific gym, but it's organically a little bit like that. I do have males, but more females are into group fitness than males are.
Yeah.
But it is trending a little bit towards some males participating and they're like, I don't care, I just want to get fit and healthy.
Yes.
So I'm like, fabulous. If you're up for it, I'm up for it.
Yeah, good.
And so, so ranging from 10 to 83 and I still have that cohort of people, probably maybe, I don't know, I'd say 10 or 15% that train virtually.
Wow.
But they don't live, they live in my town, but they prefer to stay at home or they might live 15 minutes out of town. Yep. It's one less trip into town.
Yeah.
They don't have to defrost the car in the morning. They don't have to dodge the animals.
Yeah.
And they're 10 minutes from the shower.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got all their equipment from COVID days.
Yes.
So that works.
Yes.
And then I have, clients that's kids may live in Melbourne and they've gone off to uni and they used to train with me or they don't have time for a big box gym in Melbourne. So they're like, I do a uni package. So they jump onto the uni package. They can do however many classes a week virtual that they want.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just about, I think it's about just including everyone and anyone, any cohort.
Yeah.
Anyone that wants to exercise, I'd love to make it work.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. I can hear, and I want to hear a little bit more about how you've been able to package your services and package your offer in a way that is really appealing to different markets and different demographics. I've heard a couple of the interesting things that you do, and we'll start there and then we'll go into how you manage to run that many classes and structure and build offers and just meet the market where they're at. It sounds like you are nailing the balance, but I'll let you tell me more.
No one's got the balance, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do a subscription-based model.
Yep.
And so you choose however many sessions. I'm always about being realistic. It's no good me saying to you, you need to work out 5 days a week if you don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
I have the time to do that, and that's fine, but you don't. And so I don't want to say to you, you have to work out 5 times a week, and then you don't, and then you start beating up on yourself because you didn't.
Yeah.
And then you say to me, oh, I still didn't do it. So if we realistically say I can do 3, then you buy a 3-class a week package, and you've got the whole week to use it. Yeah. And so that just rolls on.
Yeah, nice.
And then my mature moves clients, they work in packages. So they get 10 classes or 4 classes.
Yep.
And it's very flexible for them because they're coming to the gym so that they're fit and able to go away in their caravan, look after their grandkids, go to the movies for the day, go out to lunch, get on a bus and go to Melbourne.
Yep.
So I like to give them that flexibility and they like not to be tied in. They don't want to say, if I buy that package, is it going to expire in 3 weeks? Or if I don't come that day, do I lose that?
Yep.
And I think in today's economic climate, you just have to be flexible.
Yeah.
In business, from a business and from a human to human.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the same situation, aren't they? At the end of the day. So where I can be flexible and accommodating, I do. And then personal training clients, they just pay, like their week to week. I also run a agriculture / fat farming group exercise, and they do it totally different as well. So I have an online booking system. They do not do online booking systems. It is all via text. I say, this week we owe money for the next 4 weeks. Deposit your money into my bank account and away we go. So it sounds like I've got a total balance, but I've got lots of different balls in the air.
Yeah.
But I know where everything's sitting.
So I love how you put that, agriculture / fat farmers. That's a great name. Like a farming person is not going to worry about joining the fat farmers group, are they?
No. It's not my name. I did not come up with the name, but it sparks a lot of conversation, and that's great.
That's great. That's what I wanted to ask about in a deeper way. How have you set up these kind of different packages, and how do you approach the thought of how do I get people to engage with training? How do I get them to come in? And what I see you doing is you are delivering the same or similar services in a way that suits, but packaged in a way that suits the individual, and it's going to look different for different people. And so how have you learnt that, and how have you developed over the years of running a business to understand that maybe I should package things in a certain way? Has that been organic, or was that a particular point in time where you were like, you know what, I need to design different ways to sell this?
A couple of things, I suppose. Only maybe 3 years ago, I used to run my whole business with, 80 clients, let's say.
Yep.
Via my head and a spreadsheet.
Wow.
And so everyone would be on a different package and everybody would be paying at a different time, but I had it all in my head.
Oh, boy. Whoa.
And my VA at the time said, this doesn't work. we need to get you online.
Yeah.
And so I went to an online booking system and then everybody signs up to that.
Yep.
And now it just runs all of that.
Good.
But I think, which is great.
Yes.
That's fabulous. But I think the most important thing is, and I think this is in any business, in any industry, you have to listen to your clientele.
Yeah.
You have to listen to the conversations that go on, what works for people, what doesn't. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. And my model may not work for everybody either, but it works for me and it works for my clients. And at the end of the day, it needs to work for me because it's me, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing, listening to clients. It hasn't always been this model. When I started out, as I said, it was like, yeah, this week we're paying for the next 4 weeks and that person wasn't there. So next week they're going to pay for the next 4 weeks. And that did not work.
Whoa.
Yeah. And as I got busier in my personal life with 2 children, my mental load probably got a little bit smaller. And I was like, yeah, this is not sustainable.
Yep.
So you have to look at it from a personal point of view, but you also have to look at what your clients want.
Yep.
And all the different avenues that I actually have within my business, so the different groups and the different events and all those things, I'm a very big community person and I'm involved in the community. You know, I volunteer with 3 different groups. I'm always a part of something, and I think that's important as well because people respect that. You know, I'm a business owner, but I also give back to the community.
Yep.
And not just for that reason, because I love doing it.
Yep.
And I see projects and I think, oh, I'd love to get my teeth into that. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know,
nice.
It's always, you know, if you want something done, you give a busy person the job, you know?
Yes.
So,
yes.
So I think being a part of the community and listening to your clients is always paramount.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me about some of the peripheral things to the delivery of your service. So you mentioned events, you mentioned community kind of activity. What would you attribute to some successful things that you've done that you can see either build some good brand capital within and perception and a bit of reciprocity in the community, and which kind of events that you run have been really successful?
Well, you got me at the right time because I've got one coming up next week.
Nice.
And this one is one that I started 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And as I say to my clients, it's all about consistency, doing the small things that add up to something big. And when you run an event and you want to make it an annual event, you have to put in the hard yards. You know, if the first year it's not a sellout, that's fine. Try again the next year. Change it up a bit, whatever you may do. So 8 years ago, I introduced the Jean Hales Women's Health Week event. So this is an event that is Australia-wide, and Jean Hales offers women's health services, and they have 1 week, which is the first week of September every year, where they have a different topic and a different theme, and each day is themed differently, and you can run events around that. So 8 years ago, I decided that in our town of Mansfield, we didn't have a women's health physio, and women's health physios for postpartum and menopause and things like that is super important. And so I got a women's health physio up from Melbourne, and they delivered a talk, and everybody got a goodie bag, and it was held in my local community hall. And that was it. And then the next year I thought, oh, that was okay. I might do that again. And every year for 8 years I have run this event. And last year I was away for 3 months of the year living overseas, and I organised it from there, and I came home 2 weeks beforehand and I delivered the event.
Wow.
It was sold out.
Wow.
And this year I put the event out again, and now because we're in the virtual space, I can have virtual speakers as well as local speakers to me. And I released the event on Monday morning at 8:30, and by Tuesday night at midnight it was sold out.
Wow.
40 seats.
Wow.
It was just like incredible.
Wow. Come on.
And I was like,
So good.
it is an event that the community knows about. I've built that trust with them that they're going to hear things that they may not get from just social media or the newspaper or whatever. They want to hear somebody that lives and breathes that topic.
Yeah.
And so I built that trust and that consistency, and they know what they're going to get. They're going to get a great night of community. Last year we had tears, we had laughs, it's a safe space. There's only 40 people. It's not 400 people.
Yeah.
So people feel comfortable too.
Yeah.
So I think that's another important factor.
Yeah.
You have to gain that trust of your community and your clients.
Yeah. Well, what's motivating you? Like what was the spark to drive you to set up that event and run that event and can keep running it?
Keep running it. I don't think I couldn't not run it now, to be honest. Look, I just have this real passion for, I don't know, educating, giving people the tools they need to go forward. And as I said earlier, living regional, we're limited with services. And it's just about giving them the tools and showing them what else there is, or another avenue, or another way to look at it, or ideas and things like that.
Yeah. And what do you think the impact for your business has been from being involved in the community in that way?
Well, as I said, I think I gain trust. And some people wouldn't necessarily come into my space in a gym sense. They're not coming as a personal training client or a group fitness client. But that's why I like to hold it at the studio, because it does showcase what the studio looks like, what it feels like when you walk in the door, and that, people may not say yes to coming to a class this week, but the more interaction that you have with them and building a relationship and showing them what you're about and the community you've built and how you do things, you never know. One day they might say, yep, if I'm going to go anywhere, that's where I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. And that can be a long time, can't it?
It is, yeah.
And a long time. Tell me a bit about Mansfield. So for those who are maybe watching a long way from Victoria or in a completely different space and are in their own little bubble, what is Mansfield? What's the population? What's the competitor landscape in terms of your services and business?
So Mansfield is beautiful, very cold. And I think the population is around 12,000.
Yeah, right.
But growing exponentially, at the moment especially. Obviously we have the snow, but we also have the lake. So there's, water skiing in summer and there's skiing in winter. And I suppose it's both ends of the spectrums, new families moving to town, but there's also a lot of retirees, and agriculture's quite big, obviously, and tourism also. The competitor space if I look back 12 months ago, we had, I think, 4 or 5 of us. So, like a conventional gym, and a couple of people working mobile or out of their garage, things like that.
Yep.
And then late last year we had a big box gym arrive and then another gym set up. So at the moment we're sort of 5 or 6.
Wow.
And there's another 2 on the horizon.
Oh, my goodness. Is there enough room for 12,500 people for that many gyms? Or is everybody fit in Mansfield?
Everyone's pretty fit.
Yeah. Great.
No. Yeah, look, what I say, if it's like any business, there's a coffee shop on every different corner in every town, isn't there?
And a hairdresser.
Well, it's a barber now, I reckon, more than a hairdresser.
True.
But I think if everyone sticks to their niche, there's enough people for everyone.
Yep.
Because as I said, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay.
Yep.
But as long as you're exercising, I don't mind.
Yep.
Go somewhere or do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you stick to your own lane and do what you're good at, then there's enough people for everyone.
Yep. I hear that more often than not from people sitting in your chair right now. the ones that are running remarkable businesses are the ones that aren't super precious about their slice of the market, and they have I think I said it on one of the latest episodes, an abundance mindset, right? That there's enough to go around. There's enough people, and that if you can just do the best at being you, and that will probably make you lead from the front.
And I think that's what it's about. It's about being authentic. You can only put on a facade for so long, and people see through that.
Yep.
You got to stay true to who you are and your values and what you want your business to be and how you want it to be.
Yep.
And that's what people see.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt, but this is actually the end of part 1 of this conversation. Don't worry, the next part of the episode is already released and you can just click next and go straight to that one. Hope you're really enjoying the episode. I'll see you in the next.